Alright, World of Halo fans, this is probably our most anticipated set, I would say. This is the ODST Rookie Drop Pod with the accessories. So far, this has been just an Amazon exclusive. The price is $21.99. It's been popping in and out of stock. Currently, as I'm filming this right now, it is in stock, $21.99. I definitely picked up a few of these, and I think you're going to want to as well. And of course, I will have the link in the description below so you can pick this up. If it does say currently out of stock, don't fret. Just keep checking back and forth because they have been popping in and out of stock. As we look to the back of the packaging, these are Series 6 figures displayed. So this looks like it is a part of Series 6 and not a previous wave like we saw with the CQB and Brute accessory pack that was a part of Series 4. So this looks like it's in line with what's supposed to be released right now. A part of Series 6, we have these two packs. An image was already leaked of these, so if you've been following me, then you know that I posted these pictures on my YouTube and also my Instagram. So definitely looking forward to these two packs. I think they're going to be a great addition. As always, here is the barcode. Again, this is on Amazon, but just in case this hits Targets, Walmarts, or wherever, you can use this barcode to utilize it in-store. Before we crack this open, I want to take a closer look at the box art. I think they did a great job with this. Illustrations are awesome. You know, it's just, you're in the scene of war. There's drop pods all over the place. Rookie's coming out, and he's just laying down some fire, so I think this looks really good. And in case you're wondering, the blasting effects are simulated. Here's a quick look out of the packaging. So far, I'm really impressed with what I see. The figure holds up really well. It doesn't have Series 4 or Series 5 quality. It's pretty sturdy. The joints feel good, so I'm really happy about that. Comes with the two weapons, the backpack, and we have the blast shield for the drop pod. And of course, it comes with instructions on how to operate. It does not come with a base plate, which I am really okay with because I'd rather have all the budget go towards the quality of the figure and the drop pod itself. As far as scale goes, it looks like it's pretty in scale and it lines up pretty well, but we'll do some in-close, comparisons and things like that. So let's start with the drop pod. I think the sculpt on this is really good. There isn't a whole lot of weathering, but you can see there is some chipped paint detail on the front where the white is, and there is also that ODST logo. Now, I don't have the McFarlane drop pod. I sold most of my stuff before I went to college, but I did see a side-by-side comparison of a fan who does have one. If I can find it, I'll post the photo up here. And it is significantly bigger than this one, but, as you know, the McFarlane figures are a taller scale. But from what I've seen already, this does line up really well with our figures, so I don't think there's any discrepancies there. So let's do a measurement, see how tall this thing stands. I was looking at Halopedia, and I believe it said it was like 16.5 feet. So our ODST is just under 4 inches, which is, what we already know. And then the drop pod itself looks like it's just above 7 inches, or might be just right at 7 inches. So the average ODST is about 6.5 feet tall. I believe Rookie is 6 feet, just over 6 feet. So if I try to double him up, making him about 12 feet here, yeah, it does seem like the drop pod is slightly smaller than what it should be within the scale. And then, so if that's smaller there, then that's probably also a little bit smaller width-wise. But, it's not the end of the world. It still looks really good, and it's still pretty functional. So we'll look at the functionality of this drop pod. It does not have the pull and the drag fins that come out, which is a little disappointing because I would have loved to have had that. Even if that means I would have had to pay $24.99, $25.99, or even $30, to make this maybe slightly bigger with the drag fins. I would have been totally okay with that. The blast shield, again, looks great. You can see the white paint details, the chipping, the ODST logo. The glass is like a smoked gray. It looks really good. And then, like you saw in my intro, it does pop off. The instructions are pretty self-explanatory, so we're going to take this blast shield off. So this is the inside, and in order to get that feature going where the blast shield actually pops off, these side areas will open up. So there's a little hinge there. They'll go out about that far or so before they start hitting the sides. So you can see there is a hole and then like a little switch. And then once you push these switches down, these pins are spring loaded and they will pop out. So that's what's going to give it that feature. So you can actually lock these in place, keeping the blast shield on there so it doesn't pop off randomly. And then you can move these down and activate that spring-loaded feature. I'm going to show you how it works. In order to get the blast shield on, you must close both sides first. You can see I have the pin sticking out, so it is spring-loaded right now. So you're just going to place the blast shield on. It does get a little tricky since those pins are sticking out. It is going to want to just pop this off, but there is a little tab on the inside of the hole that's trying to help it lock in place. So again, it doesn't take much, so I'm going to do just, maybe like 10% power. Nope. Nope. There we go. So now let's say you want to display this on your shelf. You don't want this to just pop off randomly. What you're going to do is you're going to push each pin in, and then you're going to take this switch that's in there and move it up forward. You're going to feel a little click, and you'll see it has locked in place. So I'll do the same thing on this side. Push this in and move that forward. It is now clicked in place. You can close up these sides, place the front on. Now you're ready to display. And I'll show you. It's not going to pop off. So the area that allows it to stay in place on these little tabs, there's a lip that catches on the inside of the pod, and that's what kind of keeps this shield in place. And again, if you wanted to get it to where it can pop off, just take the tabs, push them down, and the pins pop out. Now we'll look at the inside. Nothing articulates in there, so these handles don't move or anything like that. There's no buttons, levers, or anything like that. So basically, you're just holding on for dear life as you plummet into the atmosphere. There is decent amount of paint applications, no weathering whatsoever. Again, this does seem a little bit smaller width-wise, so you could probably put a rifle there and a few other things, but there's no designated slots or place to actually secure one. But you could probably just rest one in there. It is a little difficult to get all the lighting in there, but you can see there is plenty of foot and leg room at the bottom, a good amount of space down there, so we should have no problem fitting Chief or any other Spartan inside of this. Alright, we got Rookie in there. I had no issues whatsoever putting him inside. You can see I put the SMG on the side right there. There is no designated slot, like I said earlier, so it just sits in there for the most part. He does look like he needs some more head clearance, so again, it does seem like this is a little bit smaller than what it should be, and then obviously not as wide, but regardless, he still fits in there really well. And to let you know, I do have him sitting in there with his pack on, so we're going to close the drop pod up, and you know what, I'm going to lock the springs in just so it doesn't fly off, and I can show you what it looks like with him sitting inside of it. Alright, he's in there, ready to rock and roll, holding on to dear life as I would be. But this is cool. Adding him inside definitely adds a good amount of weight. So, I mean, this thing doesn't feel cheap whatsoever. But you can see his silhouette poking out through there, and he looks really cool. I mean, this is awesome. Really happy to have this. It's not perfect. It needs some tweaking here and there, but still, regardless, very happy to have it. And of course, we will have him plummet to the atmosphere so you can see what this looks like when it pops off. And for what it's worth, the SMG did still stay in place, so that's pretty cool. We'll place some other figures inside so you can see what they look like. So here is Spartan Buck, fits in there no problem. Here you can see the head clearance and then as well as the feet. Here's Frederick, definitely a tighter fit for sure. The head is touching the top of the drop pod. Feet still have some good clearance, but you can make it work. Here's our Halo 3 Chief, same type of deal. Head is touching the top of the drop pod. Feet still have a good amount of clearance, but you can make it work. Just for fun, we'll throw in our Halo Infinite Anniversary Chief. Head is touching the top, but there is still a good amount of foot clearance. Now let's talk Rookie. This is Jonathan or John Doe. Like I said previously, this figure is great. It is on par with Series 6, so I'm glad that they are investing in the figures and improving the quality. It is something that I love to see. What I mean by improving the quality is first, paint applications. They have done a great job improving the quality of the paint, the color contrast at the forearms, the camo throughout, just the gunmetal gray looks really good. The UNSC logo, the ODST logo at the chest plate, the paint applications on the accessory belt looks really good. They've done a fantastic job improving those areas. And that continues to the back of the figure. His pack does have some paint applications as well. Please keep this up. His head sculpt looks great. Just the visor looks awesome as well. They did a really good job matching the colors to the character in the game. The other area would be the looseness of the joints. They've done a good job really trying to fix that and make the joints tighter, which I love and appreciate. That's probably my biggest pet peeve on a figure is if the joints are loose. I hate that. I don't want to have to apply other things to the figure. These figures aren't perfect just yet as far as the tightness of the joints go, but they're definitely well on their way, and they've been doing a good job trying to combat that. He comes with two weapons, the SMG and the M6C SOCOM, and the SMG can be placed on his back. And he also comes with a backpack. Articulation, again, should be no surprise. We can bring the arms up about that high. We have a hinge and swivel at the shoulder. Spin that around. We have a hinge and swivel at the bicep. And then we can flex the wrist forwards and backwards. His break at the elbows are about 90 degrees. Torso has limited movement, but we can still spin it from side to side a little bit. The only trouble area that I saw was going to be this armor piece that comes over the top of the thigh. It is a softer type of plastic, but you can move it to make this leg come out a little bit easier. But if you don't do that, kind of force it and help it a little bit, then the leg is going to be subjective to kind of popping out of the sockets. It happened a few times when I was trying to put them in the drop pod, but it's not a big deal at all. You just have to kind of move this plastic piece to allow clearance for that leg to come out lateral. So with that being said, that's about as far lateral as I can get that leg to come out without risking it popping out of the socket. It does have a swivel, double joints again at the knees, great range of motion, and last but not least at the head, we can flex it forwards and backwards, and we can spin this all the way around. All right, my final thoughts on this drop pod. The price point is $21.99. Link in my description below. As I'm filming this right now, it is currently in stock on Amazon. If you click the link somewhere down the line and it says currently unavailable, keep checking back because it has been popping in and out of stock. I think this is a great addition to add to our Halo collection. There are some small things I would have liked to have seen differently with this, being a little bit taller and wider so it is more in scale, as well as the pull and the drag fins that come off the top. That doesn't break this set for me. It is something that I would have liked to have had. The highlights of this set is going to be the action feature where the front pops off and the rookie figure. As far as the figure goes, they've done a great job improving the quality like we've seen so far with Series 6, and I hope that they continue to do that moving forward. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Be sure to follow me on Instagram so you never miss out when new things drop. Be sure to like and subscribe. It is free, and I will see y'all in the next video.